there any common yoga mistakes or things that you should avoid? So I have a lot to say about this. You know, there's not really mistakes, but some things that I see happen with students is, one, they might be doing the style of yoga that's not right for them. We already talked about that. But if you're someone who's, you know, very type A, very driven, very ambitious, you might be attracted to like Bikram or Vinyasa yoga because you want that hardcore workout. But deep down, that's not really what you need. What you need is to relax and learn how to connect with your body and slow down in a way that's less aggressive. So what you actually need might be yin or iyengar or restorative. So not a mistake, but just a warning that I like to share with students is that the type of yoga or the, you know, variant of yoga, the style of yoga that you're maybe initially attracted to isn't necessarily the one that's best for you long term. It's not necessarily the one that you need to balance yourself out, right? And yoga is all about balancing our energy. Another mistake, and this ties into our previous question, is pushing yourself too hard, judging yourself and thinking that you should be farther along than you are. So again, I don't like to use the word mistake, but a lot of people seem to think that yoga is a linear progression, right? Like you start with, and Ashtanga is really set up as a linear progression, right? You start with like the primary series and then you advance to a harder series, or you start with a simple version of a pose and you go to a more advanced version of a pose, right? So I think a mistake is to think that that's all yoga is. Because my philosophy and what I believe is that yoga isn't this linear journey outward towards achieving harder and harder poses. I think yoga is the journey in. It's the journey inward towards yourself so you can be a better friend, parent, mother, whatever is going on in your life. It's a tool, it's a science that can really ignite your best life if you come to your mat regularly. So one, again, I don't like to call it a mistake, is like thinking that yoga is just this like other sports where it's like this linear thing where you're achieving. And really yoga is so much more than that. It's really about bringing the whole body into balance and creating a successful life for yourself if you choose to see it that way. So don't think of yoga one-dimensionally as you might maybe some other sports where it's just like a linear progression. Know that it's much deeper, that it's about connecting and getting aligned within yourself so you can show up as your best self on and off the mat. Other mistakes, I mean, if we just want to talk about mistakes in poses, I don't know exactly what the person meant when they asked this question, but I see a lot of students do down dog with their back rounded, right? So if this is their down dog, their legs and their upper body is very rounded. So I would always encourage you to bend your knees in your downward facing dog so you can have a nice long spine, right? So bending your knees in your down dog, and not, you know, it's okay if your heels don't touch the ground in downward facing dog, especially if you're a beginner. So that's another, you know, I don't like to call it a mistake, but another misinterpretation or a misunderstanding I think new students have is that their heels have to touch the floor in downward facing dog. It's totally okay to bend your knees in down dog and all the forward bending poses, especially if you're just starting out.